Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to work on a hopefully one pot meal. This is called Hibachi chicken and rice skillet. Very little ingredients, but you can use it as a base to add other vegetables. So keep that in mind. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 6 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, about 2 pounds worth, and you're going to marinate them. I had marinated them in this Ziploc bag with half a cup of low sodium soy sauce, teaspoon of pepper, teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of ginger, powdered ginger, and put all that in, marinate. I just put it in a Ziploc bag. You can do a bowl, whatever. Stick it in the fridge for 1 to 6 hours. I wasn't able to do mine very long, but I did marinate it a little bit. And now I took it out. You need to reserve your marinade. That's very important. Take it out of the marinade. Put enough oil in the bottom of the pan so you can cook these. We're going to cook them for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we're going to take them out. And then we're going to cook an onion. And we're going to cook our rice. And then we're going to add them back in. So that's where I'm at right now in the recipe. Let me get these cooked, and then I'll come right back, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, y'all. So, time to take this chicken out. I didn't cook it all the way. It's about halfway, and with that being boneless, it will cook a little bit faster. So, we're going to be adding it back into the skillet, so no worries there, to finish cooking. So I'm taking it out. I'm going to cut my heat down just a little bit because it's a little bit too crazy. It's splattering a little bit. And you're going to slice up 1 whole onion. And we're going to put it in here so that it can cook. We're going to cook it in the pan drippings. And I'm not going to add any more oil. I'm going to try to just make it out of that. Make it with that. Make do. If you have fresh garlic, now would be the time for you to put it in. We're going to saute these for about 5 minutes. But what we're trying to do is, 3 minutes. Then we're going to... If you're going to add your fresh garlic, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to. We're going to use powdered garlic. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that in here. Which you could wait, because we're going to add some liquid and stuff like that too. So, main thing is to get this cooked just a little bit. And then we're going to add our marinade to deglaze this pan. So, medium-high heat. There we go. Alright, I'll be back with you in about 3 minutes or so. Okay, y'all. So, I'm going to add the marinade in here, and it's just about half a cup. And what you want to do is reduce this marinade by half, because we're going to add our rice in here and some chicken broth. So you're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. The onions need to be deglazing the pan with the marinade here. The marinade's actually going to deglaze the pan. So about half. So you see about how much is in there, right? Yeah. So you're going to have only about 1/4 cup left. So you're just going to keep stirring so that nothing sticks, nothing scorches, nothing. And then we're just going to let this cook away. And it shouldn't take but about 5 minutes or so. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So we've got about half of the marinade gone. I'm going to go ahead and add 3.5 cups of chicken broth. And we're going to go ahead and add our 1.5 cups of rice. So you're going to cook this until boiling. And then we're going to cover and cook another 10 minutes. And then we'll come to our next step in this recipe. So, medium-high heat. So I've turned up my heat a little bit. Okay. Gonna cook it, boil it, turn it down low, and cover and cook it for 10 minutes or so. Then we're going to come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, y'all. So, rice is just about done. You need to give it a good stir. And then I'm going to take these pieces of chicken. We're going to put them back over in the skillet. We're going to continue to cook it. I'm going to cut it on low because it's just cooking way too high. Now, you get this done and your rice is done, but your chicken seems like it's not done all the way. Just stick it in the oven for 10-15 minutes, however long you need for it to be, and that should finish cooking it, but this chicken is just about done. Alright, so another 10 to 15 minutes. I've got it on low, and I'm going to let it just sit here and finish cooking the rice and the chicken, and it'll be ready. I'm going to make some yum yum sauce up real quick. I've done it multiple times on different videos. I have a beef and broccoli video, I think, where I make it. So I'm going to make some of that real quick if I've got all the ingredients, and we're going to put that on the top. It'll be good. Alright, I'll see you back here when I'm ready to get this plated up. Another 10 to 15. Just to make sure you check your rice and your chicken. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. I made some yum yum sauce to go on top, and I chopped up some green onions to go on top as well for garnish. You don't have to do that. It's already got onions in it, but wanted to give it a little bit of color. Perfect stovetop meal, very little ingredients, and perfect for any budget. So, really quick dinner. It had a little bit of, a little bit of work that went into it, but it wasn't too much. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make Southern chicken tetrazzini. And I've already started some of this recipe. You can use linguine or spaghetti noodles. I use spaghetti because it's easier to find. And you're supposed to take, according to package directions, and make 1/2 pound in some water, just like you typically would. And I added a little bit of chicken bouillon to mine just to kind of add a little bit of flavor to it. So right now it's draining. Then I took, you can take a pound of chicken thighs. I took about 1 pound of chicken breast and chopped them up into about 1-inch pieces. And I cooked them with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. And now I've removed those and I've got them set to the side. Now it's time for our next little part to this recipe. I'm going to be using canned mushrooms, and I'm only going to do a 4-ounce can. You can use fresh if you prefer. And I'm going to just saute these up in just a little bit of butter. And we're going to add, you can add fresh garlic. I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Not much, just about a teaspoon or so. Now, I know that, with their cans, you don't really have to cook them, but I'm just trying to give them that little bit of buttery flavor because I still want that in the dish, even though you don't really have to saute these at all. So if you're cooking them fresh or anything like that, then you'll just cook them for just a few minutes until they're browned and softened. Alright. So now, we're going to get this hot. And then we're going to add our sauce portion. So I'm going to do about medium to medium-high heat. I did drain off what little bit of grease or juice or whatever you want to call it that came from the chicken breast. I didn't want that to water down anything. You can leave it in. The recipe doesn't say anything about draining it. But I just poured that off just for my own little, you know. So right now we have 4 ounces of mushrooms in here, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and we're waiting for this to heat up just a little bit. And I have some more mushrooms. Let me get these out. And if you don't mind the mushrooms, you can add about 8 ounces of mushrooms or mushroom pieces. I just did 4 because I just wanted a little bit of the flavor, not a lot of that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add cream of chicken soup. I'm checking my recipe to make sure I didn't forget something, because you know I do. Alright, we're going to add cream of chicken soup. I'm just going to leave the mushrooms in. This is a real easy stovetop type recipe. A little bit of prep work, and then we're good to go. Okay. All right. I'm probably gonna have to use our whisk. And then we're gonna need a cup of milk. That. Gonna make a little bit of a gravy or sauce. So I want to get this mixed up, mix it together, and then we have a few little spices to add. And let that warm up for a second. And we're going to add our little teaspoon of lemon juice. While that's warming up a little. There we go. Just a teaspoon. Lemon juice. A little pinch of paprika. A little bit of salt. And some pepper. You can do that according to taste. Let me check. I think the only thing we're missing now is our Parmesan cheese. So I'll mix this up. And you just need about half a cup of parm. That's the parm I used. And I'll just incorporate that in. And that makes a real quick sauce or gravy to go with this. All right, let me get the pasta. All right, we're going to add this back in. Okay, and then we'll add our chicken. And we're just gonna let this warm up. Mix it all together. I'm just gonna let it warm up. It's really easy and simple. If I would have thawed out my chicken thighs in time, I could have used those instead of my chicken breasts. But I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So I just went ahead with it. Okay, I'm going to let this sit here and simmer and warm up just a little bit and heat all the way through. And then I'll come and show you it dished up. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. Pretty simple. Pretty easy, especially when you cut down on prep time with the canned mushrooms. Just remember, if you use those, you don't need to cook them as long as the recipe states, because the recipe's using fresh. And you can add a little bit of parm to the top. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to add a little bit of parsley just to make it pretty. Okay, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.